Hello chess fans, welcome back. Today we are going to delve into the world of chess opening traps, specifically new ones for white. Let's get started. Before I reveal brand new opening traps for white, let's look at old ones. So on top of the screen I have a lead chess study address. I'll put that in a video description if you want to look at all the traps. And here, let's go with the Halloween Gambit. It's a well-known trap. I'd call that the old trap. So how does that go? Well, we go in a 4 knights opening. This is all well-known. And here, the trap goes as follow. We give up a knight. Black takes, and we're attacking that knight. Knight retreats, e5, very entertaining. That knight retreats, h4, threatening h5. Black will play h5, and we continue to develop our pieces. And now we do queen f3. The queen and the bishop, that sounds very familiar, right? We're trying to do checkmate. Black play f6, queen d5, very nice. Once again, we're renewing the threat. So d6, and now, as you can see, we can chase the king, and we win beautifully. Check, let's go to the other variation because this is so much fun. Check, and then boom, checkmate over here. What a variation, right? So I say, well, why not go on that list here, only chess? Well, I'm not gonna do that, so you can do that on your own. But then let's go back maybe to the key position here. And here, let's open Stockfish 16 on the website, h4 played, and we can see that if black play d5, black almost has a 3-pawn advantage. But if black play d6 over here, it's also very good for black. It turns out that h5 is not as good, and even after bishop c4 here, instead of developing the bishop, d5 would be very good. If you take like that, you can do bishop d6, the computer likes black, you're down a piece, and it's gonna be very difficult to generate some threats. So like bishop g5 over here, just like in the game, f6. Now, this is one trap. Let's go to the fried liver attack. So this is the Italian opening, and now we do 9 g5, threatening on f7, d5 is played, and in here it's well known that you do 9 takes f7, forking 2 pieces, black takes, we do queen f3, attacking 2 pieces at once, the king moves, and we win like that. And keep in mind that if the king goes over here, 9 c3, attacking this poor knight 3 times, and on 9 d4 attacking the queen, boom, this wins. Now you may say, well, that seems to be pretty convincing, except that most players with the black pieces will know here that the right move is knight a5. Now you can give a check, and c6 is a move, and if I toggle Stockfish, 0.0, very equal. Let's go back, and over here you can play knight d5, you can play bishop d6, and the position is just equal. So over here, most players will know that knight d5 is not the right move, and knight a5 is the correct way to play with black. So this being said, you can see here these well-known traps. There's 18 over there, but you need to find new traps, new positions, new problems, so that the player with the black pieces won't know the position, won't know about these traps, and you're gonna surprise them and win quickly. Let's go with part 2. Like a good latte and a good espresso, finding a good opening trap takes time. So I've prepared many positions I'm gonna explain and go through, but what we have on the screen? On your left, the top 10 players on chess.com. We're looking at blitz game, 3 minutes per player or 5 minutes. On the right side, same thing. The best blitz players, but when they play over the board. So they play in real life, in a tournament hall, and on the left, they play online. You have a lot of similar names, but you will see that on the left, Daniel Naroditsky and Jacobson, they only play online. They don't even bother to play in real life. But when we look at Hikaru and Magnus Carlsen, they are dominating online and offline. But the point I'm making here is I went to thousands of games, selected the best openings and the best traps, played at grandmaster level in order to win quickly with white. Let's go. Let's go with 1 e4, e5 first. This is well known and we're not gonna go for theory for many moves, but set up a trap. We start with the Italian, d3, Jacopiano, and black did bishop e7 instead of bishop c5. Fine, knight c3, castle. So now a normal move would be h3, or maybe castle, maybe bishop b3. What did the grandmaster with white play in this blitz game? g4, trying to attack right away here. So black took, rook g1, attacking the knight, defended by the bishop on c8. h3, the knight goes back to f6. How to continue right here? We clearly have the open file and the black king here is under pressure. Bishop h6, threatening over here. So knight e8 to protect g7. Queen d2 played, black develops bishop e6. One more 11. Feel free to pause the video. How would you continue here? Now possible would be 95. That's one idea. You could try to take over here, but then black will recapture. You could consider long castle, which would be my preference, right? Long castle would be great because you would have the two rooks lined up. However, that's not what happened in the game. White took on g7, sacking the bishop. Black has to take, queen h6, threatening checkmate on g7. Bishop f6, only move to defend. White to play, knight g5, threatening checkmate on h7. If black were to take, you take like that, and the only move to defend a checkmate is to give up the queen, but this is winning for white. So instead here, black tried rook e8, and here it looks tempting to give a check, but the king would run to safety, and white took on h7 with a knight. GG, game over. Obviously, we want to capture over here, and if the bishop were to move, we have checkmate in one move. So again, in this position, stunning novelty, g4 with a quick attack. Let's go to the next game. Here we go again, e4, e5. This time around, after the Italian, black play knight f6, a natural move. And here we play d4. e5, this is our theory, d5 the best move, and we come here. Now, in the game, knight e4 played, and the game follows the theory. Here we castle, and bishop d7. So white took, play bishop e3, defending on d4. So far so good, castle, 92, we exchange, and now black play bishop b6 with a threat of c5. Black has the two bishops, and if c5 is played and then d4, black would have the advantage. Rook a e1, c5. So this is a critical moment. In this position, bishop g5 is played, attacking the queen. Now over here, it was very hard to play, but the only way to continue is f6, on which you can do e6 with a crazy computation. For instance, if black takes here, you go here, and you have a fork and a winning position. Anyway, black saw the queen attacked and play queen e8. So now we have a knight here attacked, and black has a bishop pair. White to play. Feel free to give it a fun, but in the game, bishop f6 is played, and that's a brilliant move, double exclam. Now, why is that? Well, if black takes, we take and we attack the queen. And if the queen moves, we give a checkmate like that. So, first thing first, black cannot take. But black can take this piece. But then queen g5, g6, queen h6, and we have checkmate on the next move. So in this position, bishop f6, and none of these pieces can be taken. So black went king h8. Can you figure out the end of the game? And the answer is another bishop sack. Check, king takes, check, king's move, and now rook e3, GG, good game. Rook g3 next, attacking the king. The king has nowhere to go, and black resign. Again, very nice opening with a stunning bishop g5 and bishop f6. Let's go to the next game. And now let's see how Naroditsky with white play against 1e4, e5. In here, he goes for the Spanish opening. Knight f6, the Berlin defense, castle, knight e4, d4, knight d6. So this is a well-known theory, and if we were to go to the Berlin endgame, the theory will be as follows. You take on c6, you take on e5, you exchange the queen, you play h3, black can play h5, and we have this long endgame, and there's a lot of theory. That's not what we want to do. So what does Dania uncork here? Instead of playing bishop takes c6 and d5, he retrieves the bishop. The best move by Stockfish 16 to take on d4. White offers a pawn. Here you don't want to take, because if you take on c3, you would have a lot of play for white. So the best move by Stockfish is bishop e7. You take on d4 and castle. You play knight c3 and bishop f6. All interesting, and black has to figure out how to develop the bishop on c8. So Dania played knight d5. And here, black had to find knight f5 or even knight e8, on which you could reply rook e1 and the game goes on. Instead, black tried b5. Bishop goes to c2, and then bishop b7. And now Dania win the game. Feel free to pause the video, it's quite instructive. I'm gonna reveal the trap. White took on f6, black takes, and now, lo and behold, bishop g5, and the queen here has nowhere to go. And black resign, because if you go to e6, then you have d5 and you lose a piece. So beautiful stuff. The queen is almost trapped. You drop a piece after 13 moves. GG, good game. This is all fine if white plays e4, e5. But what to do against the Sicilian defense, the ever popular opening? We're gonna follow Bortnyk, and Bortnyk plays c3, so-called Alapin system. And then we'll reach a very standard position of the Alapin here, and black play e6, which is the main move, and develop the knight. So far so good. Bishop c4, and then bishop e7. So castle and d6, it's all good. Queen e2. And over here, black should probably consider castling, even though you have rook d1, knight c3, bishop c2, and queen e4. Maybe fearing that, black decided to exchange pieces. All right. rook d1, that's the plan, queen h4. So here, Bortnyk plays bishop e3, and he's threatening to take on b6, and then do queen b5, sorry, check, attacking the king. So it's time to put the king to safety, black thought. And here, what did Bortnyk with white play? You guessed it, rook d4, and the game ended on move 15. Yes, the queen is attacked, and this is guarded by the bishop. This is not possible. This is guarded by the queen over here, and this is not an available square. So lo and behold, rook d4 wins the queen and the game. Let's see another one. To wrap up this video, another exciting game, this time GM Brendan Jacobson, just a few weeks ago on chess.com, is facing once again the Sicilian defense, and he goes for the main move, knight f3. And on my channel, I have several videos around the Sicilian person or Sicilian can, and he goes for the main line. And here, surprise, most people will take back on d5. He goes for bishop g5, attacking the queen. Some people sometimes they play knight c6 or a6, their pre-move. If they pre-move knight c6, you would win the queen. But in this game, black, with a very strong rating, play f6, blocking the attack. So Brandon goes back to c1. Now that pawn can be defended, e5, and white has lost a pawn. We play c3, black has to take, and we'll recapture. Development knight c6, logical, bishop c4. Now the bishop c4 here has a great prospect on the diagonal, and you will admit that a pawn on f6 and e5, that's pretty dangerous against such a bishop. So black play bishop b4, white castle, and of course that knight is about to jump on d5. So black rushes to exchange pieces. Now, maybe black had in mind that while we recapture, we do knight e7, maybe queen b6, d6, trying to develop. But guess what? We're on move 10, queen d5. The queen lines up to deliver checkmate. Blacks play queen e7, defending f7. Now we recapture on c3. Black offers the queen exchange. Of course, white has no intention to do that, and is threatening to win the queen. a6, attacking the queen b3, and the queen retreats. Now we look at this position, what's going on? White has castled, it's only a pawn down, and black is behind development. And here, we capture on g8 and we win a piece. Knight a5, attacking the queen d5, and we attack the knight back. Knight retreats, and here Brandon play bishop h7, threatening bishop g6, and the bishop escapes. That's because on rook takes, check, double attack, and you're up a rook at this stage. So after this move, bishop h7, black resign. Fantastic play, lot of creativity. Bishop g5 is off the beaten track, and then we conclude a beautiful game, down a pawn, but winning in 7 moves from this position. So I hope you enjoy these new opening traps. I can guarantee you they are not widely known, but still they play at a high level very recently online, and with such GM approved opening theory, you should be in good shape. Feel free to leave your comments, your ideas. Let me know if I should focus on different openings, if I do more of these videos. I'll see you in the next one.